Hello and welcome back to another special edition of the Pioneers Weekly Football Preview, where we're going to break down a couple of college games on the schedule this week. Starting things off with Ferris State, who's back at home again this week with another big game. This one against arch rival Grand Valley State in the Anchorbone Classic. With me is Bob Allen. We're going to talk a little bit about this game, Bob. Ferris State coming off a tough loss last week on homecoming to Saginaw Valley State. With your biggest rival on the schedule, coming into this week, is the focus on, this is a rivalry game, or is it about let's get back to basics and get back into the GLIAC title chase?
I think it has to be get back into the title chase. I mean, the rivalry will take care of itself. Grand Valley's going to bring their boatload of fans. Getting hyped for this game is not going to be a problem. The number one thing they have to do is think about the GLIAC. This is an elimination game. Because the loser's going to have 2 losses. Saginaw Valley, is unbeaten in the league. You got to think this is an elimination game. That's got to be the focus, not that this is a rivalry. You got to get all that out of your mind, get back to basics and playing football.
Now, the big concern for Ferris State coming into this game has been the way they've been starting. Obviously fell behind 24-0 at home to Saginaw Valley this week. What is the key for this team to get off to a better start in front of the home crowd against Grand Valley this week?
I preach this, and I say this in the newsroom all the time. Smash mouth football. I think there's nothing better than just running it down another team's throat. And if Ferris can establish the run early, I think they're going to be in good shape. Last year, they had no trouble running over Grand Valley. There's no reason they can't do it again this week. But I think that's where it starts. Running the ball, running it down the other team's throat, and I think they'll be in good shape.
Your thoughts on who you got in this one?
I think this is going to be another entertaining game. It would not shock me Grand Valley won. Grand Valley's a good team, but I'm picking Ferris. They're home. I think they got a little something to prove after last week.
Yeah, I think Ferris gets off to a better start this week, takes care of the football a little bit better, and I think they win another one of these wildly entertaining shootouts that we've seen. Now let's go to a special video presentation. We talked to Coach Tony Anise with some of his thoughts on the big matchup this weekend against Grand Valley State and some of the keys to the winning. All right, Ferris State coach Tony Anise. Coach, big week for you guys, obviously. Grand Valley State coming to Top Taggart Field for the first time in a couple of years. You talk about the importance of this rivalry game for you guys.
Well, it's at this point in time, it's beyond rivalry here. It's we need to keep fighting to stay in the GLIAC race here. So. Really disappointed about last week and frustrated that we just didn't do things a little bit better from me, my responsibility on down, and so just trying to put that behind us as we have to. But ultimately, Grand Valley feels the same way. I know they do. It's another GLIAC game, so neither of us now are really able to kind of worry about it as a rivalry game. It's just another GLIAC game that the winner is within one of being in first place. The losers, two back. So it's a huge game in regards to that issue.
The big focus for you coming in this week was you need to worry about your own guys and not worry about Grand Valley State as much. How have you addressed that with your team and worked with them and trying to focus on just getting better by yourself?
Yeah, the conversation became that conversation last year towards the middle of the year where we just kept on shooting ourselves in the foot. And so, we're just like trying to focus on just not, doing that to ourselves. And so if we can just stabilize some things, not turn the ball over, and not get a start like we had here last Saturday, which was an amazingly dreadful start, and believe that we're a good team and play the way, we're capable of playing, then, you can't worry about winning or losing. You got to worry about being at your best. And if we can get to that point where we're at our best, winning will take care of itself.
And you mentioned getting off to a quicker start. What are some of the keys that you're looking at and working with the team to try to do that, and especially in front of the home crowd, like you mentioned?
Yeah, it's interesting. We're trying to change our Friday routine a little bit, but ultimately it just comes back to coming back to Top Taggart and playing well. In retrospect, I really put a lot of pressure on our guys. I said, this was a a game which the winner was in the lead, and you always want to be in the lead. And so maybe I put too much pressure on them, and maybe they felt that pressure. I forget sometimes we're still a young team, so maybe that comes into play. I'm not sure, but ultimately I just hope, a change here and there and a faster start will get us some momentum and we'll feel better about being at home.
All right, one more game to look at here on the college schedule this week. Michigan traveling to Penn State this week. Bob, Michigan's been a team that's been living on the edge with some close games against some inferior opponents. You haven't really played a very tough schedule. And it's kind of tough to gauge how good this team actually is. I think we'll get a good test of that this week as they take on a Penn State team who's been hot and cold this year, but always a very tough team to play at home, especially at night. What are some of your thoughts on this game and your thoughts on who might be coming on top?
Michigan is almost schizophrenic. I mean, they do look good at spots, and then they turn the ball over. Defensively, I think they're pretty decent defensively. The key for them Saturday night is they got to limit the turnovers. Gardner did a good job last week against Minnesota. No turnovers, 42 points. There is a correlation here. So, going into Happy Valley, hang on to the football, try to take the crowd out of it. And if they do that, they should win. I'm picking them to win. And I think it's going to be a pretty close game.
Yeah, I think that's the big key is taking care of the football. A couple early turnovers, especially in that environment, Happy Valley, would really put Michigan in a hole. And as we've seen, this team can get a little bit rattled when it does turn the ball over, as you've seen against Akron and UConn. I'm going to say that Gardner and Michigan take care of the football enough to pull out a tight one here and stay undefeated for another week. That's going to do it for this week's edition of our college football preview. As always, make sure to check out BigRapidsNews.com for the latest on all of the Ferris State football coverage.